What's up, guys? So like I said in the video a couple of weeks ago, which is secretly about 40 seconds ago, this is going to be a video breaking down my first motor race with the 750MC. Well, my first motor race ever. The first time I have raced a car on a racetrack, sort of legal racing, which is, you know, better than hooning a van around the Peak District. So it was a stressful race week. We had issues with transport for the car, issues with prior commitments with the team. I was unsure if I was going to do the race anyway, so it sort of ended up no one really realising I was planning on racing until a couple of days before, which led to some sort of hurried journeys up and down the motorway, sorting a transporter out to drive the car from Derby up to Croft near Darlington, booking hotels, loads of stuff like that. As you may have seen, I converted my car van thing into a camper, and then slightly frustratingly parked it up at the garage where the race car's kept and drove up north in a transporter with the race car on the back. So wasn't able to sort of road test the camper aspect of the van. Had to book into a hotel, but that was it. Got to Darlington at sort of 10 o'clock at night, got settled in, and then had one of the worst night's sleep of my life. So the day before my first race, someone in the room next door decided that it would be a good idea to try and kick their own door down because they'd forgotten their keys, and that was at 2 a.m. And then from 2 till 4:30, the people in the room on the other side decided that karaoke was a really good idea. So the first race weekend, the first day going to the track sort of in anger, I suppose, was on, I think Whoop said, about 15% recovery. So a lot of cans of rain, a lot of cans of Monster, and as many coffees as I could drink before I got to the track. And I arrived highly caffeinated. When I arrived at the track, I was met by Ben Greenhill, who is sort of the son of Greenhill Performance. Mick Greenhill sort of runs the team. Ben's his son, a super experienced racing driver. He's 17 and has been racing for years. Started as a junior and things like that, but he knows how to drive fast. He knows how to make a car faster, and he can, you know, do a lot of the mechanics work that's needed. So Ben very kindly left their house at sort of 4-5 a.m. to drive up to Darlington to meet me at Croft. We messed around, got the car ready, made a couple of little tweaks, just tyre pressures and things like that, and took the car for scrutineering. When a very lovely scrutineer, which sounded way more sarcastic than it was, he was honestly a lot nicer than he needed to be, spent a very long time looking at my harness. And then he got someone else to look at my harness, at which point we thought, this maybe is a bit of an issue. It turns out my harness was suspected to be counterfeit. It's something I purchased myself, purchased off eBay. I'm currently trying to get money back, get the store shut down, go through trading standards, go through small claims court or whatever I need to do to make sure these people never supply fake racing harnesses to anyone, because realistically, if I'd have crashed during the weekend, I could have died. So that's really good fun. Other than that, scrutineering was a breeze. The car is really nicely built, really well put together. It's underpowered, it's French, it's, you know, none of the suspension's really adjustable. Nothing's really adjustable. I don't fit overly well, but that's down to, you know, being a bit too fat at the moment. But they were happy with the car, except I wasn't allowed to go out for practice. I wasn't allowed to race. That was weekend over, The most expensive way to watch motor racing I can think of. Luckily, one of the Mazda teams, who are sort of running Mazda engines in kit cars, had found a spare set of harnesses that they'd just taken out of their car to fit a replacement set. I'd walk through the paddock asking if any had any I could borrow or buy, and no one did. This team didn't think they did. And then as I was walking back to my car to say, like, let's chuck it on the van and go home, they ran after me and provided me with a set of harnesses that they'd found in the van that they'd forgotten they'd taken off. So back to scrutineering, got the car checked over again, everything signed off, everything happy. Then it was out to practice. Practice was a weird one. It was probably the most scared I've been, short of, being 3 pitches up the side of Cloggy climbing, but, you sat by yourself in a car for the first time, and that's it. Practice is starting. It's sort of a practice/qualifying thing. So people were pushing quite a bit. I was sort of getting used to the grip of the car, getting used to the track, getting used to what's going on, and was just about to start, my first sort of push lap. Got a good exit out of the hairpin at the top of Croft. Was ready to sort of go, quite a bit quicker than I'd been before. And the safety car came out. So we ran behind the safety car, and that was it. That was practice. As soon as the safety car came in, we got 1 lap. And I had not had a great exit out of the hairpin at Croft, which starts to start-finish straight. So my first lap, once the safety car came in, I was sort of cruising round, getting the tyres back up to temperature, and thought, right, really focus on a good exit on the hairpin. Sort of took a really wide line at the hairpin to get as long a straight as possible. And as I crossed the finish line, the checkered flag came out. So no one really got a good qualifying session in due to a couple of incidents, but I was very happy to be starting as close to the back as possible. So the first race came round and it started to rain a little bit. It was a little bit drizzly, not sort of heavy rain, but enough for me to be scared, but to still consider it a relatively dry track. Formation lap, drove round, got the tyres nice and warm, parked up near the back of the grid for the start. Realised that I'd parked in a way that meant I couldn't see the lights. So the only way I knew the race had started was when the car behind me overtook me, and I realised I've probably cocked up here. So just ran round, started to get used to the car, get a bit more pace into things. It's really useful being able to follow other cars, especially when they're better drivers than you. You're following someone, you're seeing their braking points, you're seeing their lines. Then the safety car came out, which is going to be a theme of this. Safety car came out, and I'm really bad at safety car restarts. It turns out I didn't realise that, we were going green at the end of the lap, so I dropped back a little bit, try and get a bit more temperature in the tyres, a lot of weaving round and stuff like that. And as I got through the complex before the hairpin at Croft, I realised the car I was following was now a bit more of a dot than it was before. He'd seen a green flag and he'd disappeared. So that was me running around at the back. Whilst running around at the back, the rain came in. I really stupidly, and it's totally on me, forgot to clean my windscreen before the race. And there's no washer bottle, we've just got wipers. Didn't clean the windscreen, and then when the rain came, put the wipers on, and it just smeared a load of stuff all over the windscreen. So missed my braking point coming into sunny in and sunny out, and got to the side of the track, sort of ready to rejoin. I could see the lead pack was coming, and there's sort of 6 cars battling. I thought, no matter what happens, I'm going to come last, so I'll get off the track and let the lead train through, and then join into the back of them for the end of the race. However, I parked sort of off track, but 90 degrees to the track, because that was, in my mind, the thing you'd do if you were joining a road. I've never worn a hands device before, which is a like carbon fibre collar that tethers to your helmet. So I tried to look to see if I could rejoin, and I couldn't move my head enough. And that is the essentially only clip of me that was broadcast from the weekend. So that's really good fun. Novice cross on, looking like a total novice. Then finished the race in the pit lane because I couldn't see, I couldn't clear it. I'd sort of lost my braking point, was getting really annoyed. Tyres had cooled down. Braking into the S's, into the complex, locked up. Just an absolute shit show. So I sort of pitted to try and get the windscreen clean. As I crossed the finish line in the pits, checkered flag was out, so that was race over. Then back to the hotel, slightly better night's sleep, back to the track the next day. Watched some really interesting racing, watched some really good guys going around. It was really nice to see. Realising, a few things I knew I was doing wrong. At this point, Ben had to leave, so I was by myself at the track. So I was really grateful for him being there Saturday because I knew exactly what to do. I knew exactly what to expect. So it was a relatively easy day. The sort of fear had gone, but you're still a little bit nervous. You're racing a car against 30 other cars, and I've never done it before, so it was an adventure, but it was really good fun. As the first race started, I realised that you don't have to park directly behind the car in front. You can be off to the side, so got a reasonable start, not too much wheel spin, and got the power down quite well. As we were coming into the first corner, I saw a big chunk of smoke and gravel coming up ahead, so I sort of backed out of a move on someone because I thought there's obviously something really bad going on, but it was just someone who'd run wide, chucked a load of gravel up, but they've rejoined, so there was no need. So I was tagged onto the back of the pack again. Then a safety car came out, and we'd been told that the whole track would go green on the lap that the safety car comes in. Due to the nature of Croft, people towards the back of the grid can't see the pit entrance where the safety car goes in. So as we approached the complex, the last flag I saw was a yellow flag with a safety car board. So I thought, well, it must be another lap of safety car. But yet again, got around the corner, car I was following had fucked off. So I ran round by myself. I'm going to put the footage of the lap at the end of this video, but sort of to break it down, I lift off the accelerator too early, I get on the brakes too late, and that's costing me all the time. I'm sort of coasting, and that's just a fear thing, it's a confidence thing. It's not quite understanding what the car's going to do and how it's going to behave. So whilst I'm not able to race in the next few rounds, I will be booking some testing, and I will be, pushing the car, pushing myself as hard as I can to get used to, where exactly the braking point is and going straight from the accelerator onto the brake, trying to minimise that transition time. In this car, left foot braking isn't really a great idea. Just because of how it's set up, it tends to cook the back brakes a little bit, and because no one's sending me race car parts for free, I'm trying not to ruin the car straight away. So it's booking testing and getting some more sort of time out in the car. At the end of this video, like I say, there'll be an onboard lap. It'll have the car audio on it, so if you're listening, if you're listening to this, you're used to me being really shit with audio anyway, so yeah, good luck with that. I don't know, turn it up or down or off, whatever you want to do. But that was it. That was the first race weekend, and I want to give a massive thanks, a really heartfelt thanks to sort of everyone Greenhill. So Mick, Ben and Harry, they've been super supportive. Harry took me out for my first time on track at Donington, and then, first lap out, we're looking at the Craner curve sideways, and you realise that when it feels like things have gone wrong, it's savable. Massive thanks to Ben, who's been, working on the car, getting things ready, listening to me ask stupid questions, really explaining things, and breaking everything down in terms of driving faster. And then Mick, who is sort of team principal, I suppose, who's just put up with me, wanting to race right now and not accepting that things take time and I can't do things straight away. Also, thank you to Rob and Arwen Graham. They are the reason I realised that motor racing is a viable hobby. I'm under no illusion, I'm not planning on jumping in a F1 car in a couple of years. I just want to race cars. I'd like to race a slightly faster car than a 140 horsepower Peugeot 206, but I didn't think racing was possible. Arwen is a phenomenal junior driver, a huge amount of potential, so one to really watch out for. Rob is a fan of the Stoltman brothers and dropped me a message, and that's how this all started. So yeah, really grateful to the people I get to know. I'm not going to be driving the 206 around the Peak District because I'll definitely kill myself, but I'll be posting sort of racing updates, upcoming meetings and stuff on my Instagram and Dan Hipkiss Racing Instagram. And I will also do a video at the next one. I'll take the GoPro with me and, sort of film the journey, film the process of what motor racing is on a budget involves, because it's really good fun. And if you're into racing, the 750 MC are really good. It was a really nice, friendly paddock, so I can't recommend them highly enough. But yeah, that's about it, guys. If there are any questions, if people want to send me race car parts, if you hate this video, if you love this video, let me know in the comments. Like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell, do all that stuff. I need to buy race cars and Teslas and things like that, so the more engagement the better. But yeah, thank you for listening and have a great day.